The bears hurry out. Cut to black. Paddington and the bears tour London. They ride a double-decker bus across Tower Bridge.
Look. Hello.
They ride on the London Eye and gaze at Big Ben. At Trafalgar Square, the bears pose on a lion statue while Paddington takes their picture. Paddington and 3 other bears walk across Abbey Road. The bears try and squeeze into a phone booth. They take a picture together outside Mr. Gruber's shop. In the Browns' bathroom, several bears stick electric toothbrushes in their ears. They put them up their noses, then brush their teeth. At a prison, Paddington sits at a visitor's window.
And this is Euston, St Pancras, Waterloo, Piccadilly, Baker Street, High Barnet, Bromley by Bow, Leicester Square, Elephant and Castle, Clapham North, Clapham South, and Cutty Sark for Maritime Greenwich.
Phoenix Buchanan grins at the bears from the other side of the glass.
Tell me this. Do any of your friends care for the theatre? Perhaps some of them like a film?
As you know, I am shortly to be released by one. Red Cape, Flaxenway, Lights. Phoenix Buchanan is Goldilocks. Yes? Oh, yes, they like it. Who wants to be Daddy Bear? You. Mommy Bear, you. And Baby Bear, come hither. Don't be frightened. Come here. Let's talk. I am thinking the autumn. I am thinking small thing wins the punches. And I am thinking we may need some money. You've been to Eldorado. Did you by any chance find it?
We found these.
The bears hold up oranges.
Oranges. That is disappointing.
The bears pose outside the fast food shop named El Dorado. Remaining opening credits: Hugh Bonneville, Emily Mortimer, Julie Walters, Jim Broadbent, Madeline Harris, Samuel Jocelyn, Imelda Staunton, Carla Toos, with Olivia Colman, with Antonio Banderas, and Ben Whishaw as the voice of Paddington. Casting by Robert Stern. Music supervisors, Nick Angel and Catherine Greaves. Hair, makeup, and prosthetics designer, Sean Miller. Costume designer, Charlotte Walter. Supervising sound editor, Glenn Fremantle. Production sound mixer, John Casali, AMPS. Composer, Dario Marianelli. Visual effects supervisor, Alexis Weisbrot. Animation director, Pablo Grillo. Production designer, Andy Kelly. Editor, Una Ganila, ACE, BFE. Director of photography, Eric A. Wilson, BSc. Executive producer, Naoya Kinoshita. Executive producers, Anna Marsh, Ron Halpern, Dan McRae. Executive producers, Paul King, Jeffrey Clifford. Executive producer, Rob Silva. Executive producer, Tim Wellspring. Paddington Bear, created by Michael Bond. Screen story by Paul King, Simon Farnaby, Mark Burton. Screenplay by Mark Burton, John Foster, and James Lamont. Produced by Rosie Allison. Directed by Dougal Wilson. End credits roll. Cast in order of appearance: Ben Whishaw as voice of Paddington Bear, Imelda Staunton as voice of Aunt Lucy, Oliver Maltman as photo booth voice, Joel Fry as Joe the Postman, Robbie Gee as Mr. Barnes, Sanjeev Bhaskar as Dr. Joffrey, Ben Miller as Colonel Lancaster, Jessica Hines as Miss Kitts, Madeline Harris as Judy Brown, Emily Mortimer as Mary Brown, Hugh Bonneville as Henry Brown, Samuel Jocelyn as Jonathan Brown, Ella Dograys as Student Rep, Haley Atwell as Madison, Eloria Spencer as Madison's assistant, Nicholas Burns as Mr. Wilson, Henry Colleague number 1, Ashley Reynolds as Mr. Smith, Henry Colleague number 2, Amit Shah as Zayden, Julie Walters as Mrs. Bird, Olivia Coleman as Reverend Mother, Jim Broadbent as Mr. Gruber, Peter Marinker as Elderly Resident Bear 1, Simon Farnaby as Barry the Air Steward, Carlos Carlin as Passport Control Officer, Orlando Estrada as Carlos the taxi bus driver, Ella Brucaleri as Rosita, Joseph Valderrama as Elderly Resident Bear 2, Emma Cidi as Elderly Resident Bear 3, Nick Hayward Sampson as Elderly Resident Bear 4, Antonio Banderas as Hunter Cabot, Carla Toos as Gina, Diana Payan as Bingo Nun, Vincente Wallenstein as Young Hunter, Sarah Toomey as Hippie Clarissa, Peter Labas as Burly Driver, Estiel Doherty as Student Editor, and also featuring Hugh Grant as Phoenix Buchanan. Songs. Let's Prepare for Paddington, written by Dougal Wilson, Neil Hannon, Mark Burton, performed by Olivia Colman. Manon, Act 2, Il Songo, written by Jules Massenet, Henri Melac, Philippe Gilles, performed by Enrico Caruso. The Entertainer, written by Scott Joplin, performed by Antonio Banderas. Incredible, written by Marlon Hart and Paul Levy, performed by M. Beat, featuring General Levy. Dingole, written by Ortneil Bacchus, Timothy Cansfield, Felix Ruiz, and Miguel Antonio Baradas, performed by Tobago and Delime. William Tell Overture, written by Gioacchino Rossini. The Blue Danube, written by Johann Strauss II. Onward Christian Soldiers, written by Sabine Baring-Gould and Arthur Sullivan. Soundtrack on Sony Classical. The characters, events, and firms depicted in this motion picture are entirely fictional, and any similarity to any persons, living or dead, or to actual firms is purely coincidental and unintentional. This motion picture is protected under the laws of the United States and other countries. Unauthorized duplication, distribution, or exhibition may result in civil liability or criminal prosecution. Studio Canal Films, Ltd. is the author and creator of this motion picture for the purposes of U.S. copyright law, the Berne Convention, and all national laws giving effect hereto. Paddington Bear, Paddington, and PB are trademarks of Paddington and Company Limited. www.paddington.com. Copyright 2024, Studio Canal Films Ltd. All rights reserved. This film has been described by the Media Access Group at WGBH with funding from Sony Pictures Entertainment. Read by Heather Lee. For more information about Motion Picture Access, visit our website at access.wgbh.org. In the visitors area, Phoenix grins and glances around.
What fun? What fun? What a lovely bunch of fur.
He grimaces. Marmalade Pictures. Studio Canal. Sony. Released by Columbia Pictures, a Sony company.
Released by Columbia Pictures, a Sony company.